let me tell you a simple and beautiful story. It is a story about a young traveler who begins a very special journey. This traveler is not rich, not famous, and not powerful, but they have something very important, a dream. A dream to find something lost, something special, something that people only talk about in quiet stories, a treasure. No one knows exactly where it is, and no one has ever seen it, but the traveler believes it is real. All they have is a very old map. It's small, made of paper, and a little torn at the edges. The lines are faded, and the writing is hard to read. But in the corner of the map, there is a small red mark. It says, "Start here." So that's what the traveler does. On a quiet morning, with a small bag and the map in hand, the traveler leaves home. The sun is low, the air is cool, and the world is still. Every step away from home is a step into the unknown. The traveler looks back one time, just once, to see their village far behind. Then they smile and look ahead. The road is long, but they are ready. As they walk, the traveler sees many new things. Birds fly high in the sky. Trees move gently in the wind. Small animals run across the path. The traveler listens carefully to the sound of leaves, the sound of their feet on the ground, the sound of their own breath. Everything feels different and everything feels new, but the traveler is not afraid. They are curious. Soon the traveler comes to a river. It is wide and the water moves fast. There is no bridge, and the traveler doesn't know how to swim well. But they do not stop. They sit down and think, "How can I cross?" they ask. Then they notice a few stones in the water, big stones, strong enough to step on. The traveler takes off their shoes and carefully begins to cross, one stone at a time. It is slow, and the water is cold, but they do not fall. On the other side, they laugh a little and say, "I did it." As the journey continues, the traveler meets different people. An old man selling bread gives the traveler a piece for free. "You look like you're going somewhere important," he says. A woman carrying water tells the traveler to rest for a moment under her tree. "The road is long. You must take care of your feet," she says. A child gives the traveler a flower, small and white, and says nothing at all. All these small moments stay in the traveler's heart. One day, while walking through a quiet forest, the traveler feels tired. The sky is gray and rain begins to fall. The map is wet now and the lines are harder to see. The traveler stops under a tree and closes their eyes. "Maybe I'm lost," they whisper, but then they remember the dream, the reason they started. The treasure is still out there. Maybe it is close, maybe far, but it is not gone. They take a deep breath and say, "One more step." Each part of the journey is a lesson. The traveler learns patience when the road is slow. They learn bravery when the night is dark. They learn kindness from strangers, and they learn strength from walking alone. All of this is part of the treasure, too, not gold, not silver, but something better. Sometimes the traveler walks in silence. Other times they sing a small song. The words don't matter much. The voice is soft, but it fills the empty air. It keeps the dream alive, and still the traveler walks. As the traveler continues their journey, the road begins to change. It becomes longer, a little harder, and not always clear. But the traveler keeps going, one step at a time. The map is still in their hand, though a little more worn now. The red mark feels both close and far. But something unexpected happens. They start meeting people. Not just faces passing by, but people who pause, notice, and share something. People who don't walk the same road, but still leave something behind. One of the first is a man by the side of the road. He is fixing the wheel of an old cart, struggling with a piece of wood. The traveler stops and watches. Then, without speaking much, they walk over and help. Together, they fix the cart. The man offers the traveler a small piece of fruit. It's not much, but it's sweet and fresh. He smiles and says, "Thank you. Sometimes help comes when you least expect it." The traveler smiles back. This is not part of the treasure, but it feels like something important. Further down the road, the traveler comes to a hill. At the top, there is a small house. Outside, a woman is sitting alone. She looks up and says, "You look tired. Sit with me for a while." They do. She offers warm tea and tells stories about the stars. She speaks slowly, gently. The traveler listens and feels a kind of peace they didn't expect. Before leaving, the woman gives the traveler a piece of cloth. "To cover your shoulders when the wind is cold," she says. The traveler thanks her and continues. The cloth is soft, but the memory is softer. But not every moment is easy. There are small challenges, too. One day it rains hard and the traveler has no shelter. Their clothes are wet, their map almost unreadable, and their body shivers in the wind. They find an old tree and sit under it, hugging their knees, waiting for the storm to pass. That night they do not sleep much. Hunger, cold, and tired feet remind them that not all parts of a journey are beautiful. Some are just hard, but the morning comes, the rain stops, the sun returns, and with it, a new strength. The traveler stands up and walks again. Another time they take a wrong turn. The map is unclear and the road splits in two. They choose the left, but after hours of walking, they end up in the same place they started. It feels like failure, like time lost, but they learn. Next time they look more closely, they ask questions, they notice the small signs around them, a mark on a tree, the direction of the wind, the sound of the birds. These small lessons make them wiser, even without books or teachers, and still there are more kind strangers. A young boy walking with his dog gives the traveler bread. "You look like someone looking for something," he says. A quiet man at a river crossing shares his boat and rows them across. He doesn't speak, but his silence is kind. Every person the traveler meets gives something, not money or answers, but kindness, direction, and a moment of connection. As the days pass, the traveler begins to understand something important. The journey is not just about finding treasure. It is about growing, changing, becoming more than who they were when they started. The traveler learns that even small challenges can teach big lessons, like how to be patient when lost, how to keep hope when tired, and how to trust when afraid. And the people, the kind, quiet, thoughtful people, remind the traveler that we do not always walk alone, even when we feel like we do. Sometimes a smile, a word, or a simple act of care is enough to keep us going. These moments become part of the treasure, too, the kind that doesn't shine, but stays forever in the heart. So the traveler keeps moving, stronger now, not just because of where they're going, but because of what they've already found. On this journey, every moment brings something new, new places, new people, new lessons. But what makes this story easy to follow, what makes it special, is the simple way it's told. Every word is clear. Every sentence is calm. You don't need a dictionary in your hand. You just need to listen, to feel, and to understand slowly. That's the beauty of a story like this. It's not fast, and it's not filled with big, difficult words. It speaks to you like a friend. When the traveler wakes up in the morning, we don't say they emerged from slumber with determination. No, we say the traveler opened their eyes and stretched. When they feel tired, we don't say they are exhausted from the treacherous path. We say they sat down because their legs were tired. And when they feel afraid, we simply say the forest was dark and the traveler felt a little scared. These are words we use every day. They are soft, easy, and real. This kind of language helps you stay with the story. You don't get lost in big ideas. You move slowly with the traveler. You see what they see. You feel what they feel. When a bird flies across the sky, the story doesn't tell you about species or science. It just says a bird flew above. That's enough. Your mind can imagine the rest, and imagination is more powerful than explanation. You hear the words and you understand them. That's the first step in learning a language, not speaking fast or using complex grammar, but understanding. Listening with your heart, not just your ears. When the traveler meets a woman who gives them tea, we don't use words like hospitality or generosity. We say, "She smiled and gave a warm cup of tea." That is simple. And still, you know how kind that moment was. You feel it. Even the map in the traveler's hand is explained with small words. Old, torn, faded. These are words anyone can learn. They describe clearly, but they also leave space for feeling. A map that is torn tells you it has been used many times. A map that is faded tells you it is old. But we don't need to say all of that. The word does the work. That's the power of using simple words with deep meaning. The traveler says small things too. They don't speak long speeches. Sometimes they just say, "Thank you," or "I'm tired," or "I'm not sure." These are small sentences, but they are full of truth. And as a learner, you can repeat those words in your own life. You can say, "I'm hungry," or "I want to go," or "that was kind." These are everyday words, but they help you feel confident in English. You don't have to start big. You start small, like the traveler, and step by step, you grow. When the traveler walks into the forest, we don't say, "The surroundings were dense with vegetation." We say, "Trees stood tall around the road." And when the sky changes, we say, "Clouds covered the sun," and not "The overcast sky dimmed the landscape." Because simple words bring you closer to the moment. They don't push you away. They invite you in. And it's not just about learning vocabulary. It's about how the words make you feel. When you hear, "The traveler sat under a tree and closed their eyes," you don't just hear the action, you feel the quiet. That's what a good story does. It helps you learn, not only through grammar, but through emotion. You remember how words sound when they come with feeling. This is why stories like this are important for beginners. They don't test you. They teach you gently. You don't need to be perfect. You only need to listen, to follow, and to feel, and slowly the words stay with you. You begin to use them. You begin to speak. So as the traveler walks and learns and grows, so do you. Because the words are simple, but the journey is deep. As the traveler continues on the road, something deeper begins to grow inside them. Not just knowledge of the path or strength in their steps, but something softer and more powerful, feelings that teach, guide, and stay. The story is not only about places and people, it's about emotions. And these emotions come with words that hold meaning, words like hope, courage, trust, and kindness. These are simple words, but they are full of life. One morning, the traveler finds themselves standing in front of a mountain. It's big, much bigger than anything they have climbed before. The sky is cloudy, the wind is cold, and the peak is hidden in fog. For a moment, the traveler wants to turn back, but something inside whispers, "Hope." Not loud, but strong. Hope tells the traveler that maybe, just maybe, they can do it. Hope is not a promise. It doesn't say, "You will reach the top." It says, "Try." And so the traveler tries one step, then another, and slowly they begin to climb. That is what hope does. It moves you forward when nothing else does. Later in the journey, the traveler enters a dark forest. The trees are close together, and the path disappears beneath their feet. Every sound feels louder in the silence. Every shadow feels like something hiding. But the traveler keeps walking, not because the fear is gone, but because they find something greater, courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is walking even when fear is near. The traveler whispers, "I can do this." Even when their heart beats faster, they take small steps, they listen closely, and slowly the fear begins to fade. Courage grows not from outside, but from inside. The traveler does not walk alone forever. There are people along the way, kind people, quiet people, strangers who offer small things, bread, water, a place to rest. The traveler doesn't know them, but still accepts their help. That's when they learn the meaning of trust. Trust is saying yes to people when you have no reason to doubt and no reason to expect. It's opening your hand when you're not sure what someone will give or take. It's letting someone guide you across a river or show you a shortcut through the hills. Trust is gentle. It does not ask for proof. It just says, let's walk together, even for a little while. And in all of these moments, the traveler learns something they never expected: kindness. The journey could be hard every day, but sometimes kindness appears in the smallest forms. A smile from a stranger, a flower left on a rock, a quiet song heard from a window. These are not big things, but they fill the heart. Kindness is not loud. It does not need a reason. It just gives. The traveler begins to show kindness too. They share their bread when someone else is hungry. They help a child carry water. They speak softly to a tired animal. Kindness is something that grows the more you use it, and it makes the road feel lighter, even when your feet are tired. These words, hope, courage, trust, kindness, are not just in the story. They become part of the traveler's language. Not only in speech, but in how they see the world. When something is difficult, they remember hope. When something is scary, they find courage. When someone offers help, they choose trust. And when they see someone in need, they give kindness. This is not about grammar or long sentences. This is about words that live inside you. And that's the real lesson of the story. Yes, you learn English. Yes, you hear new words. But more than that, you understand how words feel. You connect them to your own life, and little by little they become yours. Because in the end, the journey is not just about where you go. It's about what you carry with you. As the traveler walks through new places and meets new people, something interesting happens. They begin to speak more, not big, complicated words, not long, formal sentences, just small, simple phrases, words used in everyday life. The kind of words that feel natural, like a conversation between friends. And this is how the story helps, by gently placing basic grammar and common phrases into each moment without forcing it. They are not taught like rules in a classroom. They are simply lived in the story. When the traveler meets someone, they often start with hello. It's just one word, but it opens the door. Then maybe they say, how are you? Or where are you going? These are small, friendly questions. Easy to understand, easy to use, and in return, someone might say, I'm fine, or I'm going to the village. This is how the traveler and the listener learns real English, not textbook language, but language that moves between people. One day, the traveler helps a man carry wood. After they finish, the man says, thank you. The traveler replies, you're welcome. That moment is short but powerful. 2 simple phrases. Thank you and you're welcome. This kind of language stays with you because it comes from kindness. You hear it, you understand it, and soon you're saying it too. The grammar is simple, the feeling is real. Another time, the traveler is tired. They say, I need to rest. The words are direct. A subject, a verb, a small need. This is how we speak when we are honest. I need water. I want to eat. I feel cold. These are not just grammar patterns. They are tools to express real human needs, and the story gives many chances to hear and feel them in action. Later in the journey, the traveler gets lost. They look around and say, where am I? Then they stop someone and ask, can you help me? These are real questions. They use basic grammar, question words, helping verbs, polite tone, and the answers are just as useful. Yes, I can help. Go straight. Turn left at the big tree. These are phrases that help in daily life, in travel, in conversation. And because they are part of the story, they don't feel like lessons. They feel like truth. Even when the traveler is alone, they speak to themselves. It's okay. Don't be afraid. Just keep going. These short sentences use contractions, subject, verb combinations, and motivational tone. And because the traveler says them with emotion, the listener connects with them. You don't just hear the grammar, you feel the reason behind it. And when the traveler meets new friends, they talk about simple things. This bread is good. The night is cold. That tree is tall. Describing objects, feelings, and the world around you. This is how you grow in any language. You learn to see and say what's in front of you. The grammar stays light and natural. Subject, verb, object. No confusion, no long explanations. Just a rhythm of speaking that feels easy. There are also small choices, like he is, she has, they are, we will. The story includes these again and again. The traveler hears them, uses them, and learns them naturally. This is how repetition works, not by forcing the same sentence many times, but by placing it in new moments, a warm greeting, a small question. A friendly goodbye, see you soon, take care, good luck. These are all part of the road. By walking with the traveler, you pick up these pieces of the language one by one. And because the grammar is simple, it does not stop you. It carries you. You don't need to worry about rules in this story. You just need to listen, feel, and follow, the way a child learns their first words, by hearing them again and again, by connecting them to moments. The story never tries to teach too much at once. It gives space. It gives time. You understand slowly, and that is the best way to learn. Each phrase builds on the one before it. And by the end of the story, you are not only following the traveler, you are speaking like them, thinking like them, growing with them. Because learning a language is not just about grammar. It's about using words to move forward, one step at a time. This story moves slowly, step by step, just like the traveler walking along the path. There is no rush, no sudden changes, no confusing words that make you feel lost, and that's what makes it so powerful. It gives your ears and your mind the space to listen, understand, and enjoy. Each sentence is short and clear. Each moment has time to breathe. You are never left behind. You are gently carried through the journey, one simple scene at a time. The story begins with a quiet morning. Nothing loud happens. The traveler wakes up, takes the map, and begins to walk. That's all. But because the pace is slow, you hear every word clearly. You understand what is happening without feeling confused. The traveler is not in a hurry, and neither are you. That's the beauty of slow stories. They give you time to connect. You don't just hear the words, you see them in your mind, you feel them in your heart. When the traveler walks through the forest, the sound of leaves is soft. The wind touches the trees. The path is narrow. These things are described in a gentle way, using easy words. And because the language is simple, you begin to feel confident. You realize you don't need fast speech to enjoy a story. You just need clear, calm words, words that match the feeling of the moment, words that make learning feel peaceful, not stressful. Listening to a story like this is like walking beside someone who speaks kindly to you. You can hear each word, you can repeat it in your mind, you can think about it before moving to the next sentence. And slowly, without even trying, your brain begins to connect the pieces. You start to understand full phrases. You begin to guess what might happen next. That is the beginning of real comprehension. The traveler often speaks in short sentences. I'm tired. I need water. The road is long. These are not just simple thoughts. They are complete ideas in easy form. They help your ears get used to real English, not textbook English, but natural, living English, the kind people use every day. You hear it, you feel it, and then you start to use it. There are pauses in the story, too, moments where the traveler stops and looks around. These pauses are important. They are not empty. They give your mind space to catch up, to hold on to the last word, to prepare for the next one. Fast speech often makes people nervous. They miss words, they guess too much, and they stop listening. But this story doesn't do that. It lets you stay with the speaker. It lets you feel safe in the language. And because it is easy to follow, you begin to enjoy the learning. You're not just trying to understand. You are actually inside the story. You are walking with the traveler. You feel the cold wind. You hear the soft river. You smile at the kind stranger who offers help. This kind of connection is what builds true listening skill. You are not memorizing, you're experiencing. With every scene, your confidence grows. You begin to recognize words. You remember how they sound. You begin to understand the meaning before it's explained. This is the power of slow stories. They don't just teach. They train your mind to listen in a natural way, and it's not only listening. It's comprehension, real understanding. You learn not just what the traveler says, but why they say it. You feel their emotions. You learn the meaning of silence, of hesitation, of simple joy. You are not just hearing a voice. You are hearing a person, and slowly you start to understand not only the language, but the story behind the words. Even if you are new to English, this story welcomes you. It doesn't test you. It supports you. It doesn't try to move fast. It moves with you. That's why it's perfect for learning. You don't feel lost. You feel included, and that feeling makes you want to keep listening, keep learning, and keep growing. Because in the end, learning a language doesn't need to be hard or fast. It needs to feel right. It needs to feel real. Thank you for listening to this story, a journey that started with a dream and a simple map. You walked beside the traveler. You felt the wind, the silence, the kindness. You learned new words, not through long lists, but through moments that matter. Maybe you noticed how the traveler faced small problems, met good people, and kept going, step by step. That's what language learning is too. It's not fast, it's not perfect, it's just one step, then another, and like the traveler, you grow along the way. In this story, you heard words of hope, courage, trust, and kindness. And maybe, in your own journey of learning, those words are with you now too. You also heard simple grammar and phrases, how to ask, how to thank, how to describe a moment, and all of it came to you gently, slowly, clearly. The story didn't rush. It gave you time. It let you listen, feel, and understand. And I hope as you listened, you felt more confident with every word. So as the traveler keeps walking toward their dream, I hope you keep walking toward yours. Keep learning, keep listening, keep believing that step by step you are getting better, because your journey matters and it's only just beginning. Goodbye for now. See you in the next story.